Hello, folks, and welcome to Telling Tinder Tales, the podcast where the search for love often goes wrong, dates get weird, but one thing you can rely on is that we're going to have a good laugh about it with me, Chris O'Neill.
And me, Thomasin Lockwood. Every week, our guests call in from all around the world and we hear their wildest, weirdest, and occasionally even wholesome dating stories.
Speaking of wholesome, I've just celebrated my 38th wedding anniversary.
And I just ate 38 Oreos.
So, Thomasin, who have we got calling in this week?
So first up, we have Nicole. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Where are you calling from today?
I am calling from Florida in the United States.
Nice. And I hear you're a matchmaker. Is that right?
I am. I'm a matchmaker and a spiritual relationship coach. So perfect person to have on this podcast.
Excellent. Josh, tell us a bit about yourself briefly.
Oh, hello everyone. My name's Josh. I'm based in South London. I work in theatre. I'm a duty manager at a small place called the Omnibus Theatre. In the job for like 6 months, but yeah, in theatre for nearly 10 years now.
Congrats. And then finally we have Sarah. Hi.
Hey, thanks for having me. So yeah, I'm Sarah. I'm based just out of London in Essex in the UK, and I'm the founder of the Dating Circle.
Lovely.
Excellent. Nicole, would you like to tell us your story, please?
Yeah, so let's start with my story. So this is obviously a personal story of mine. This was probably about 4 years ago. So I had just broken up with an ex and I decided, let's just take it to the dating apps. Now, this is before I was actually working like as a matchmaker. I was a relationship coach. So I didn't realize how bad the dating apps actually were. I will say now I do not promote them. At first glance, this guy was super handsome, had it going on. He worked in finance. Everything about him checked out. I even Googled him and I'm like, okay, he's safe. I did a background check. Like, let me tell you, those things are important. And so he picked a really nice date location. I think the date was at like 7 p.m. So showed up. I was there first. I always like to get there first so I can like get comfortable and, scout out what's going on. So we walked in. I knew it was him. And I noticed he had like a binder on him, which I thought was strange. But I'm like, well, he's in finance and he's successful. So maybe he came from work. So he sits down and I'm like, did you have a long day at work? And he's like, oh, no, I finished work at like 2 today. So I'm like, what's the binder? And he's like, oh, we'll get to that. But let's get drinks. And I'm like, well, now I'm scared because I'm like, what do you mean we'll get to that? Like, are you planning like my death? Like, what's happening? So we get drinks and he's like, well, let's first take a shot because I think you're going to need it for what we're about to get into. And I'm like, I should have left. Honestly, I should have left at that point, but I was actually more curious than I was scared. I'm like, I want to know what I'm getting into. So anyway, we take a shot, have our drink, and then he's like, all right, so here's what the binder is. So he puts this binder on the table, opens it up. He's like, these are my expectations for women I date. This is how much money I'm willing to spend on a person. This is what I expect my woman to look like. And he's like, just looking at you, you look expensive. So I need to come here with my expectations. I need you to know exactly what I'll spend on you.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I'm not kidding. It was extremely interesting. And it went on from like bikini waxes and the prices that those were going to cost.
No. Wow. No.
What the fuck?
Lingerie. I mean, it was everything. Now, part of it intrigued me because I'm like, well, he's giving me like a $15K a month budget. So, that's not bad.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, yeah, it was very strange. And so actually, so I'm like, all right, am I able to pick the location of these services and like, who I have as my waxer? Like I played into it for sure. But that was pretty much it. I mean, I never spoke to the guy after, but that was probably the craziest thing I've ever experienced. That was that.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. We don't have video on this. My jaw was literally hanging open as this story was being told.
Same.
I'm not quite sure where to begin. He was seriously and oddly old school then, in that he didn't have this on his laptop.
He didn't want a trail of evidence for the police.
The other question I suppose I have is, it sounds like he was really more in the sugar daddy business than the girlfriend business, wasn't he? He was looking at buying product, for want of a better term.
Yeah, I thought that too. I mean, as a matchmaker and a coach, I've worked with different types of like people, and that's definitely what their approach is. It was nothing like, let me get to know you, your heart. Like, it was very transactional. But, putting on my professional cap, I'm like, well, this guy knows what he wants, so he's not afraid to list it. But yeah.
I do have a question on that, actually. I mean, so how big is his binder? That's so weird. That was a new question. How big is his binder?
Wait. How big is his binder? Let me get there. I mean, it was a binder, but there was only 5 pages in it, and they were laminated. So this is something that he's brought.
Wow, he's laminated. He's gone to the effort of laminating.
Yeah, there was no stains on it. He kept it very clean.
Murderers often keep surfaces clean for easy wipe.
Oh, God.
Was it all about looks, though? Was it anything in terms of what he was looking for in terms of like, I love someone with like this kind of sense of humor?
Yeah, that's a good point. No, it was nothing. It was very much like, almost like in a way, because naturally when I'm in this space, I think to myself, who hurt you? Like, where in childhood did I'm like, did this start? This is not normal. And so it's almost like he wasn't looking for something really real. It was very much transactional. It was like, this is what I expect. And it was very appearance too. It was like bikini waxes. I mean, like you're a doll,
crazy,
very strange.
But it was laminated, so obviously he was planning to get quite a bit of use out of this document.
This document, I'm sure, has seen its days. I'm sure it's been on a dates with him. That document has more dates than I've had in my life. That's for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
Josh, do you have any questions, thoughts, concerns?
Josh is concerned that his story is not going to be as good as mine now.
And me.
I mean, I can only apologize on behalf of all the finance bros out there. But how did he explain to you how he managed to calculate your worth, for lack of a better word?
No, there wasn't much explaining. I mean, I was also in probably 2 or 3 drinks in at this point. So I was just having a good time with it. But I mean, like I said, the budget was high enough. So we, at least he was being realistic. But
I mean, are you a 15,000 a month kind of gal?
I mean, if we're going to put a number on it, yeah, at least.
We're not. That's not policy here, but go on.
No. Oh, God.
Oh, dear sweet Jesus.
Sarah, any comments or questions?
I mean, I thought when you said finance, you were going to bust into a song. I'm looking for a guy in finance. Blue eyes. No, on a serious note, I'm starting to think what might have been autistic or like some kind of neurodivergency there. Like I'm just trying to search for explanation as to why.
Well, what's interesting, Sarah, is I pay attention to those things too, because I've had clients I've worked with that have a little bit of that. And you kind of have to know that up front when you're matching them with somebody. I did not sense anything. Very charismatic, probably narcissistic.
Have you managed to get a second date?
Oh, I'm sure I could have, but I blocked him. I blocked his number. I'm like, this guy is strange,
I was going to say, if someone was going to come to you as a matchmaker, would you give your service to them?
No, we're very picky with who we let in, not in a sense of like look or anything like that. But I mean, the qualities, we really are looking to help people fall in love. And that type of approach to dating, while that's up to them, it's definitely like they said, a sugar baby, sugar daddy situation. And not to mention, even if they are a sugar daddy, you're not trying to get to know me at all. There was no questions about me or my life. It was very much, this is what I expect. This is what I'll pay for. It's very weird.
Thank you very much, Nicole.
I think let's move on. All right. Well, Josh, I hope your story doesn't start with you bringing a big binder to your first date. But whenever you're ready, we'd love to hear your tale.
Oh, thank you. So yeah, my story is not so much one story as it is almost like an entire saga of my time on Tinder. This is what back in 2018, I had come out of 3 consecutive long-term relationships the years prior. So 2018 was my first year of being single. And I thought to myself, I should get into the dating world. I should meet some new people. A friend of mine set me up with a Tinder account and I started swiping and I got my first match and I was very excited and I sent a message, said hello, and then the message disappeared. And I said to my friend, oh, what happened? And he started laughing and I said, why are you laughing? He said, well, that means she's unmatched with you. And I thought, oh, okay, this is going to be ruthless then. This is going to be, okay, I'm going to have to really harden my heart for this. My first couple of dates were fine, no spark. And then what happened, I think, over the summer was it was almost like you wait for a bus and then 3 turn up at once. And I had 3 consecutive dates, like one after the other over like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday period,
Woohoo.
which I thought, hey, that's fun. I was very nervous to begin with. And I messaged the Friday night date and she said, okay, full transparency, this is just a booty call, right? And I said, oh, okay. I said, that's fine. Do you still want to go for a drink and have a chat? And she said, yes, that would be fine. But, just so you know, this is what it is. And I said, okay, yes, that's fine. But come on now, let's at least have let's have something, I guess, beforehand. And we did, and we went to a pub and we chatted about films, and then she said, okay, take me back to yours, and I did, and we had a lovely evening, and that was it really. But the nicest thing was that it really sort of gave me a huge confidence boost going into the second and third dates, because a lot of pressure had been taken off. And then eventually it leads to my last ever Tinder date. This came to December 2018. And we had been messaging 2 weeks beforehand, because what I'd learned is that if they're messaging you and they actually want to talk to you, this is probably a good sign outside of, hello, you've been unmatched. So we had 2 weeks worth of messaging. Then we met up and it was really comfortable and really familiar. And we had a lovely time. We had lots of laughs and drinks, and the nicest thing is that we've been together for the last 7 years now. So I always like kind of saying, when people say Tinder, I do feel a little bad saying that I was like a success story from it, but I mean, yeah, I certainly don't miss it.
Oh,
Very good.
Oh, that's lovely, Josh. I really, when you said, was my last Tinder date, I was fully expecting you to be like, and it was terrible and I've been cynical ever since. What a great end. My question is, to go from being ghosted to then suddenly having 3 dates in a weekend, the ladies, they love me. Was there a change in method to the swiping, or do you think it was just luck? Did you ever have any kind of technique with how to go from, desert to rainforest? I don't know what the word is. I'm going to stop talking.
It did feel like kind of pure luck. The amount of times I sort of thought to myself, okay, maybe don't say hello. And then in my sort of feeble-minded state, hey, send a GIF or a meme. So, and it was always...
Josh, I love that.
It was always like...
Can't get ghosted if you don't say
That's
hi.
right, yes. And it was always like this one of Neil Patrick Harris just doing a little cheeky wave. That was always my go-to one to sort of strike up a conversation. Because, yeah, I just was like, I don't know what to say. How do I say? And it was it became such a mind game, but a mind game that I was playing with myself.
Well, first of all, congratulations on winning Tinder, or whatever the right phrase is, right? Okay. And secondly, you provide, I think, and this is slightly serious though, an interesting insight in that you practiced, and then over time you changed your behaviors, and maybe they worked to your advantage, right? So, it's I'm reminded, I think it was Jack Nicklaus, the golfer, who was congratulated on how lucky he was getting. And he said, yeah, and the more I practice, the luckier I get. I'd say, I just think congratulations and well done, and you've now finished Tinder. And
Thank you, yeah.
That's really hard. Winning Tinder is like winning Takeshi's Castle. It's just impossible. Well, Sarah, have you got anything for Josh?
Yeah, I mean, it's always refreshing and encouraging to hear success stories from any dating app. So as somebody that's still single and occasionally uses them, I'm grateful to hear it, because I feel like I actually think that the dating apps are not the problem. It's the people in the dating pool that are the problem. And, I'm sure Nicole can vouch for this. It's people in the space that are not emotionally available to themselves or connected to who they are, and haven't done any work to heal and work through their stuff. I think what I want to touch on is, I feel like a lot of people in the dating pool that just want the casual fun get so much shame, and there's a lot of stigma attached to it. And I'm there's nothing wrong with what you want for that moment in time in your dating space. there'll be people out there that are just looking for casual fun, and that's fine. They just need to find the other people that are looking for casual fun. And then there's people that want something way more committed. They just need to find the people that are also looking for something relationship-wise, and then everything in between, right? So for me, it's just a moment, an opportunity to point out that just because somebody wants casual fun, there's not actually anything wrong with it. They're meeting their physical intimacy needs at that moment in time of their dating life.
I think that's a really good point, actually. I totally agree. And I think, as you say, it's just about being clear with communication. I mean, for Josh, for her to be like, this is just a booty call. He's like, oh, worst case scenario? Like, great. Whereas, when the genders are reversed, it can be a bit different. Like I have a male friend who he would say, listen, I just am looking for fun. And he would then have people go, okay, that's cool. Like, I'm like not looking for that. And then I'd match. And he was always very respectful about it. But I do think there are a lot of people who are like, if I say what I want, I'm not going to get it. So I'm just going to bury the lead.
Yeah, I totally agree. There's so many guys pretending to be in that relationship space, but actually they just want casual fun, and they just need to own that.
That makes me think of your matchmaking, Nicole. When you have people say what they want, do you ever look at them and think, you're saying something, but you actually want something different?
Oh, yeah, it does. It happens all the time. And I think that's where I have to put on my thinking skills to actually talk to them. And, we talk about their childhood. We talk about their teenage dating. We talk about everything to, kind of understand. Because I can just tell by tone of voice and the way they present it when they tell me what they're looking for, if something's off there. Because they stutter more and they're unsure. And I'm like, are you sure that's what you really want? Or are you saying that because society tells you that's what you need to find? You know what I mean?
That's a really good point.
I like how Chris mentioned, you started practicing as you got more dates, which is beautiful. And it's what I like to see with my clients too. I like to see that they're learning something. They get feedback forms after the date, so you actually hear what your date thought of you, which is interesting.
You're a bit of a thing for documentation, haven't you, Nicole? Really, yeah. If it's do your forms come in laminate?
No. Yes, they do, and everything's capitalized, like everything, they're all spelled correctly.
I was actually just going to ask, speaking of the theme of binders and documentation and maybe expectations, Josh, with your lovely partner of 7 years, if, say, you had written a binder of what you wanted out of a partner, not just lingerie and waxing things, but, in terms of what you wanted for them future and their temperament, did your partner meet what you thought you'd find, or has she surprised you in any way?
She's going to be listening. Just be careful.
I think in a way she matched a lot of it, really. The biggest thing was that, I'm always one for making people laugh. The first moment she laughed at one of my jokes, I just immediately thought, oh my God, I just want you to just laugh at all my jokes.
Aww.
Yes. Needy comedian. Anyway.
Chris!
Like, she's the one.
She's my audience of one.
Yeah, very good. Excellent. Thank you very much, Josh. Sarah, have you a story for us, and would you like to tell it to us, please?
This took me a while to pick one story that I was going to tell to you. I've got so many, having been single for a number of years. So when I am using the apps and actively dating, generally I'm booked up, a couple of weeks in advance with like my date nights, because I have like certain nights free off the kids where I can go out and date. And I'd matched with this guy. We started chatting. He asked for my number quite quickly. So then we're straight on to phone calls, which I prefer, like voice notes and phone calls. I think it's easier to get to know someone. And he was really keen for a date. I said, I'm not free. I think this was sometime in April. I said, I'm not actually free till like the middle of May. He was like, oh, okay, like let me know when you are. And during the phone call, I'd mentioned that I'd booked a ticket to go to this event in Hackney on my own, because I've got to that sort of stage of life where I want to do stuff. I haven't got a partner to do it. My friends aren't always available, got the money. So I just do stuff on my own all the time. Yeah. And he went, well, why don't I come to that? I think this was like the Monday or something, and I was going on the Thursday. I was like, yeah, that's fine. Like, if you can get a ticket, come along. Straight away, I was just like, not keen on the dress sense. Like, not a bit of me. And he was just really negative about his ex-partner and his life circumstance. And I'm just really positive and optimistic. So for me, I was just like, oh, this is so draining. Anyway, we've moved on to the club for this night. And it was pretty cool. It was like one of these like low-key music event vibe. Like, so there was a few DJs there, a few producers. So I was just like trying to be cool. And he was asking to go and take photos with the DJs because it was quite a small, intimate event. And I was like, no, we're not doing that. Like, let's just not do that. No one else is asking for photos. Let's just not. Anyway, the conversation was flowing okay, but I think he could read the energy that I wasn't that interested. But he was kind of like trying to move in closer. And I was like, oh, this guy is going to go for the cuddle or the kiss soon. I was just like, I need to just find my moment to say, we're not vibing, I'm not attracted. So then I don't know how I worked it into conversation, but he ended up asking me like, well, are you attracted to me? And I was like, look, I think you're a great guy, but I'm not. Well, he just got the complete and just walked out of the club and just left me there. And I was like, okay. Anyway, so I've been single for 6 years and I was talking about my dating life on my personal socials and everybody started going, oh, I feel the same, I can resonate. And I thought, I think there's something here. So I started a Facebook group called The Dating Circle. And it was really about community. Everyone thinks I'm matchmaking or doing a new app. I'm like, no, this is just a community for people to feel safe about talking about their dating. I've got a TikTok account. So I spoke about this and he saw the video. He wasn't following me, but he saw the video and then sent me this massive long message like 2 days later. And I was just like, oh, like, it's not personal, right? It's just, you're not going to fancy everyone. You're not going to want a second date with everyone. He took it so personally and actually was kind of saying that he wasn't bothered, but the message was so long. I'm like, you're clearly bothered about what happened. Like, it was literally an essay text message. I was just like, I'm just not even going to respond. I reflected on that because I was like, okay, I do need to be considerate of talking about my dating online because obviously if they see that about themselves, I did feed back to him that, you know, it's not for me and the reasons why. But I went into detail on the thing. I didn't mention any names or anything like that, but I went into detail about how the date went and what the experience was. And it made me think, I don't know where the line is and what is okay to talk about and what's not okay to talk about. So, yeah.
I just would point out as well, Sarah, he may be listening to this podcast.
I know.
No.
Let's hope he still hasn't got my number.
You've done it again.
I was like, I don't want any more SA text messages.
Thomasin, have you got anything to say to Sarah?
You say about the dress sense put you off. Now, we've had some discourse about people's dress sense over the course of the podcast. Red lipstick, red shoes. What was it about the dress sense that put you off?
I think he had a shirt on, jeans, and he actually ended up slating my outfit in the text message.
Oh,
he was like, you're one to talk. I think for me, it's like, I'm 45, but I feel like I'm 30. And I'm not really attracted to guys my age. And he was a little bit older than me. And I felt like he dressed his age.
Josh, have you anything to ask Sarah about her experience?
I think it says a lot about someone if they speak so negatively and react so negatively. You say he was very negative about his ex-partner. You know, my past relationships, like, yeah, there's been hurt on both sides, but I will always remember the good times, and I'll always acknowledge that we had good times, because to hold on to such negativity is just exhausting. But I commend you as well for standing your ground when he sent you that message and, you know, really just staying firm to what it is that you are doing. So yes, congrats on that.
Mm-hmm. Nicely put, Josh. That's why you won Tinder.
Yeah.
And Nicole, any thoughts?
To Josh's point too, yeah, you know, they say hurt people, and it's so true. You know, the fact that he had to call out your outfit, that shows that, you know, that's just a retaliation and a core wound that you hit somewhere. It's a very easy way to spot somebody who's not done the work, who's still unhealed, right? What did you say? You said something like, I don't know how to tell it to people in a way where they don't take it personal.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like that conversation never gets any easier.
I will say, like, in a future, this is what I would have suggested if it was a client. if you're in person with the person at the time, I feel like that's never the best time to say, like, I'm not interested, because then you're in person. It makes it awkward. You never know what people are going to do or say, is like for safety purposes. So I always say, well, I don't know. Like, I'm still exploring the night, like I want to see how we vibe, because then it makes it seem like you're still deciding, but you're like willing to give it a chance. And then you can kind of tell them after the fact.
I'm going to steal that from now on, like at my regular job. Like, Thomasin, why haven't you got the numbers? I'm still exploring the night.
For you.
Chris.
Why do women put up with men is always the question I end up asking here. Anyway, I think we've come more or less to the end. Nicole, is there anything you'd like to leave us with?
Yes. I would love to tell you, if you're looking for love and you're single, hopefully you're single if you're looking for love. I don't know why I said that. Then the company I work for is called Luma Matchmaking, Luma, and we would love to have you. We have clients who actually, invest and pay for us to do a search for them and find the love of their life. But we also do have a database option, completely free to join. And it's one of the ways that we have wonderful options for our clients. So whatever your goals are, or financial, means, we fit them all. And hopefully I could see you there. I'd love to help you.
Very good. Okay. Josh, have you anything to round out with?
If anyone is looking for some romantic comedy or drama plays, come on down to the Omnibus Theatre in Clapham Common, South London. We've got a queer writing festival currently happening, and then we've got the Edinburgh previews.
Ooh.
So there's lots of stories of like heartbreak and relationship dramas. So come on down.
And Sarah, do you want to fill us in on what you're up to?
Yeah, so if anybody would like a community to join to share their single life experiences with, and really to make the best of being single, then definitely come and join the dating circle. You can find us on TikTok or on Facebook.
Excellent. So this is part of the live shows that we do. We'll be at Nottingham Comedy Festival in October and November. So please do come along to the live shows. We'd love to see you there. That's all that's left to say. Goodbye, folks. Anyone like to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Telling Tinder Tales is hosted and produced by me, Chris O'Neill, and Thomasin Lockwood. Produced and edited by Lucy Regan, with music by Kinkas Moreira. It's a Jesters Comedy Dublin production and is no way affiliated with or endorsed by Tinder. If you have a story to tell, please get in touch. Details are in the show notes. And if you like us, instead of swiping right, follow us on Instagram and or TikTok at Telling Tinder Tales.